children. Today, we have with us of SWAN Livelihood. SWAN is the acronym for Skilled Workforce Advancing Nation. And I am Ms. Yashashri More, the content head for Uriel Kids. We are live on our Uriel Kids YouTube page as well as our Facebook page. I just wanted to inform all the audience. And before starting the webinar, it is my privilege to introduce to you what Uriel Kids is all about. Uriel Kids is India's 24 by 7 online preschool, where we are passionate about educating young minds to help them explore the world anywhere, anytime. Uriel Kids covers a broad spectrum of subjects like phonics, general awareness, maths, English, etc., which will ensure the all round and holistic learning and development of the child. The courses have been designed by a team of educationists with decades of global experience. And as pioneers in early childhood education, we constantly bring together experts from different fields related to young children to fulfill our nation's goal of Fit India to hit India. So, without much ado, I would before going into the question and answer session, we would like Ms. Meghna to introduce herself to the audience, and we would like to know more about the work that your organization is doing. Over to you, Meghna.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome and also for having me over here. And a bit about me. So, I am a social entrepreneur based out of Delhi, and my venture Swan, which is Skilled Workforce Advancing Nation, aims at empowering youth coming from all the sections of the society through our specially designed training and learning program. So we are a relatively new startup. We started off with our operations last year by empowering trainings to the youth coming from the economically weaker sections of the society. And it was during the time of pandemic when we expanded our operations online by designing reflective curriculum and also training workshops for the school going students, college going students, working professionals, both early stage and late stage. So I look forward to interacting with you in today's session.
Thank you very much, Meghna. So, the way that we are trying to reach different people online has become the way to reach people from all over the world. Now, we are not restricted to one part of the country or one part of the city. You can reach to people all over the world. So, now let's start. There is, as we had announced, this webinar was going to be conducted. We had some questions which were put forward by the parents and some audience members as well. So I would like to start by asking you a very basic question. What do you mean by creative thinking abilities? This is our topic of the webinar. So we'll just start by asking you, what do you mean by creative thinking?
I think this is a very nice question and a very interesting question because creative thinking ability is all about the ability to use your imagination to generate new ideas. And why this is important is because it helps us in solving complex problem, which is very much important in the present time when everything is going under a lot of change. And creative thinking abilities also help us in looking into things in a very from a very different perspectives, which instills innovation and also out of the box thinking in children. So this is all about creative thinking.
Creative thinking. And as a person, I don't know what is creative thinking, but I might think that creativity means what? Someone who's good in arts or writing or drawing, painting. Can it be expanded as well?
So no, so we have been, thinking, we have been associating creativity a lot with, subjects like arts or drawing or, extracurricular activity. But creativity forms a very crucial part of day to day, of your day to day life, and it could be applied in any field, be it your professional field, be it your learning stage, be it your professional age. It can be applied in any field, and there are various processes, which children, which youth, which the working professionals, which people from our age group can learn, which can actually help them in, thinking out of the box, thinking through a very different way, using your imagination, using their imagination to create something very new, based off on the things that are already happening, and the older ways of doing and also learning things.
So, as an organization, this is my question to you, that as an organization, Swan, what do you, how do you encourage your students to, how do we say, to think creatively, to do something different? As you were saying, that some courses were offered to school going children, to college going, as well as the working professionals. So, could you expand more about what the courses were? And was that creativity included in that? How did you implement creativity in your courses? As I would
So
like to know that,
yeah, so I think this is a very nice question
if it's
because,
possible.
yeah, so during the time of pandemic, we realized that, a lot of students were going through a lot of distress. And while talking to them, one thing which we observed was that somewhere or the other, we had children and youth who were actively looking for doing something which they are really passionate about while sitting in their homes.
Homes.
So we came up with a series of self-reflective training and learning workshops, which had the element and component of creative thinking, creativity, design thinking, and also structured thinking. So we designed a very a unique curriculum, which was very reflective in nature, which had a lot of activities, which was a very practical hands-on virtual session for the young children, for the college going students, and also for the working professionals, which really helped them in understanding more about themselves, and also how can they apply those frameworks, those principles in their day-to-day lives.
Okay, yes, that was a good thing. I think that your organization definitely did, to make children and other professionals and the youth also involved in something constructive. So now I would like to know that why do you think that creative thinking is important in today's life? Not only during the pandemic, but generally now this pandemic would not be lasting forever, hopefully. So we will come out of this, and let's keep our fingers crossed. We'll come out of this soon. And now, after that, also, after this pandemic thing is over, why do you think that creative thinking is important? Is it, should we restrict it now because everybody's at their home only? They have their school and their office to do, and after that, nobody can go out, everybody's inside home. So, would it be restricted only during the pandemic session, or you think this creativity will has to be expanded after?
So I think this is a very important question that you have asked me. I feel creativity is very important, and it should be imbibed in the curriculum that we are teaching for to the students specifically. Because creativity, it is all about broadening your horizons, broadening your way of thinking, so that you are able to critically analyze things, and at the same time you become a problem solver, which is a very important component when a person, when children are moving up in their ladder to become future leaders. So the if creative thinking abilities are imbibed into the curriculum of the children right from a very early age, they start to think through the various things in and around them in a very analytical and in a very different way. And this actually helps them to discover more things about more ways of doing things, and at the same time their own passion of where they want to go and what it is going to be like for them in the future.
So,
Yeah.
what do you think? Creativity is inbuilt or it can be developed as well? Age
So
doesn't
I
matter.
definitely I strongly so I strongly feel that creativity can be developed, and we I mean, a very good example of this is the workshops that we conducted with the children, with the college going students, and also with the working professionals. We conducted over 100 workshop sessions, and the outcome was, and the response and the outcome of the workshops was very good. So, and some of the participants, some of the children are also in touch with us, and they keep telling us new ways of doing things that they have been inculcating in their daily day-to-day work routine after attending, based on the practical learning sessions, and also the course material that was given to them. So that makes us feel very happy, and that also makes me feel that creativity can be strongly developed into, imbibed into the everyday routine, and also the practice, and also learning of the children, the youth, the students, and also the working professionals. Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to know. I would like to say that for a child, there are when he's starting, there are three important aspects in his life. One are his parents, school, teachers, and four would be his friends as well. So parents would include all. Be the role of the parents first, then the school, then it comes to the teacher in helping a child develop his or her own creativity at from a young age, I think.
I think this is a very good question that you have asked me, because when we talk about children, the two most important support system for children are their parents and also their teachers, with whom they spend maximum time. So when we talk about parents, I strongly feel that the parents should be from the old style of old ideas and old style of learning, and should give that space to the students, to their children, to explore their passion. Because if that space is provided to them, there is a possibility that their children might come up with some very good things which might surprise their parents, and which their parents might even
Not
not know
expected.
about. Yes. And when we talk about teachers, then I feel teachers can imbibe creativity in their curriculum by including a lot of activities, which include components of design thinking, entrepreneurial mindset, maybe creative thinking, which can actually help students to uh, uh, think out of the box, imagine differently things which are there going on in and around them, and at the same time discover new ways of doing things, which would actually help them to break away from what they are actually reading, and what their theoretical learning is all about. Because then in this case they will actually be entering into the practical mode of doing things, and also thinking a lot when they are actually doing those things. Yeah.
So in neural kids, we have children who would be in the age group of basically 2 to 7 years old maximum. So in that age group, what do you suggest? What do you mean for them? What would be creative thinking abilities, and how the parents and teachers and in developing their creativity?
So, for the very early childhood, the age group that you are mentioning, we have designed some toolkits which has a lot of games, a lot of art-based activity, including the components of creativity, structured thinking, and also thinking patterns, which can actually help the students to discover their passion, and at the same time use creative ways of doing things. So
Mainly, you
definitely,
were saying games and hands-on activities and something different than what we do. Like every time we, I mean, other than writing and learning, these are components could also be included, like games, hands-on activities, and all.
definitely
So
toolkits, frameworks. Yeah.
yes, yes. So could it? I mean, is creativity and imagination same or is it different? That was one of the question. Is it same or is it different?
Yeah. So imagination is all about thinking. So, when we say imagination and we are imagining things, so imagination is all about, thinking about new ways of doing things. It could be imagining an object, it could be imagining a thing, it could be imagining an incident. So everything around thinking, and also, discovering new ways, new ideas of doing things relates to imagination. And when we talk about creativity, creativity is all about doing things. So, the end product of imagination is creativity. So you are thinking something, something is going on in your mind, and when you actually implement it when you actually try it hands on and develop a product, then that is your creativity.
Mhm.
So the end product, I would say, is the creativity, and imagination is all about your new ways, your ideas, and your thinking
Thinking.
pattern. Yeah, the way you think is relates to the imagination.
So, if we want to, I mean, want to develop develop creativity amongst children, smaller children, what type of questions can we ask them? Do you think that there are some normal questions that we can ask them? Okay, I mean, according to your, I mean, improve creativity or something like that.
I mean, starting with questions would not be a good idea.
Okay.
To understand whether a child is creative or not, because here we are actually talking about developing the creative thinking abilities in children. So what we can do is we can start by observing students. Okay, so like you are in touch with a lot of children, you are in touch with a lot of students, parents are also, spend a lot of time with their children, specifically during the time of pandemic. The time span has, so you should actually actively observe what is it that they are spending their maximum time on, or and what is it that they are liking to do,
Hmm.
and it should be productive.
Okay.
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 And yeah, so watching TV would be less considered as a creative activity than a child trying to, scribble and bring down his or her thoughts on a
The
sheet of
paper.
paper.
Okay.
Yeah. So actively firstly observe what the child is spending his or her maximum time in, and then based on the time that the child is spending, um, trying to you know try to ask them questions, or maybe try to tell them more about the things that they are doing. For example, if you see a child drawing something, so try to tell about various forms of drawing, or maybe various things that can help them to learn more about various different art forms. If you see a child trying to understand some component of English learning abilities, but somewhere or the other he or she is getting stuck, then instead of directly exposing the child to a tutor, you can tell them ways in which they can discover new ways of learning those things, which would actually help the children to develop thinking skills in them, and they will automatically discover new ways of learning things. So
Okay.
yeah, so observing is one part, then giving them a brief of what they like to do is the second part, which is more about information. And then third would be to give them a practical hands-on, you know uh, you can make them a part of a particular workshop or a session in which they are keenly interested in learning more about the things that they are interested in doing. Yeah.
Okay, so one of the audience member has asked that I mean, she had asked how to develop it in small kids. So that question you have answered, I think, that observing them and then trying to make them do it. How, I mean, trying to help them, and then before going to any tutor, all these steps could be followed. So she wants to know if there's any specific example, if you could just any specific example related to anything, like maybe any topic like English, maths, any, I mean, according to your expert opinion, any example if you could give.
So, there is this entire process of design thinking, which involves which starts from empathizing. So when I said that you have to actually observe your students, so therein you have to actually imbibe the component of empathizing with the children, wherein these students, you actually understand what is it that the child is trying to learn, or what is it that the child is interested in learning. Then move over to the problem that they are trying to solve. Okay, so the second step would be to try to understand if this is the passion of your child, then what is the problem that he or she is facing in order to not be able to overcome the thing that the child is trying to learn, or maybe the child is trying to understand. Okay, then the third step would be to give a practical hands on the kinds of problem that the child is facing by giving him or her practical examples of doing things. Okay, and then once you are done giving them the practical examples, then you ask the child to do that the thing that he or she was doing before again, following the instructions that you have told him or her. And then when the child does it again, then you see if the child has shown any kind of a progress or not. And if you see the progress happening, well and good,
Mhm.
you should move stepwise. I mean, you should move ahead stepwise. And if you see, I mean, if you observe that the child is facing some problem, then repeat the third step again. Try to identify what is the problem that your child is facing. Try to give them suggestions based on your understanding, and then try to make the child do that thing once again. So,
Can we?
if you follow yeah.
No, I just wanted to know if this same pattern can be done for children who are in the younger age group as well, as we said about from 2 to 7 years old,
Yes,
the
yes,
preschool
yes, yes,
kids.
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes,
So
yes. It can definitely be done. So there are two processes. We have two toolkits available with us, which has the process of design thinking and also creative thinking. These toolkits are specially designed for small children between the age group of 1 to 10 years. So that can actually help them to think in a very different manner, think through different ways of doing things and also solving problems, and broadening their way, their style of imagining things.
okay, thank you very much. Thank you for that information. And I just wanted to know that if there are any mental blocks in the child which can hamper his or her creativity, what mental blocks you think are there for a child? So if you could elaborate on that, that if do you have you observed any mental blocks for children for developing their own creativity?
Because yes, we have been in touch with a lot of students. So here, which age group are you talking about? Which what
Yes,
age
again,
group?
as we said, the UDL kids, our age group is from 2 to 7 years old. So, do you think that they have any mental blocks, or no mental blocks for them? They are like an open book, and you can mold them as
So
you want.
so I think in children in of a very young age, the mental block starts emerging when you actually stop them from doing the thing that they like to do.
Like,
There is a possibility that parents or teachers might want to imbibe some kind of a learning skill or maybe reading abilities in their children, whereas their children would be interested in doing something really different. So
different.
when there is a clash between the mindset between the parents, teachers, and also the children, that creates some kind of a mental block, and that also restricts the ability of the children to actually explore their full potential. So,
Okay.
I have seen few examples wherein the children were really passionate in doing something, but their parents wanted to do something else, and because of that, there was I mean, we observed that there was a very less confidence that we could see in those students, and the students were also not very much confident in terms of the things that they were doing and the things that they were also trying to do. So the best way to let to would be to let their children explore their passion while keeping things in control for them, and also let them think about new ways of developing skills which are they enjoy, which through which they can learn, and at the same time think in a very creative and in a very different way.
Different. So I would like to know whether you think that life skills and creativity go hand in hand. Life
Uh,
skills and creativity. Yes.
Definitely. So life skills and creativity definitely go hand in hand, because the end objective is to improve the cognitive capacity of the children. And when we talk about the cognitive capacity of the children of a very young age group, it is a good, I mean, it is desirable that we imbibe skills like analysis, then evaluation, critical learning, critical thinking, and also imagination, new ways of imagining things in the children of this age group, particularly because this would actually, if these skills are imbibed in themselves, and if they start practicing these skills right from a young age, then it would actually help them in becoming self independent and problem solver, and also a good leader when they go ahead, move up in their ladder in their student life, in their professional life, and also when they are going out to express themselves with a larger audience.
Okay. So I just wanted to know that we always tell that think out of the box. Is this thinking out of the box and creativity? Is it the same thing, or does it go hand in hand, or is it something that is completely different?
So yeah, everything is interrelated, so everything goes hand in hand. So the more if a child is able to discover new ways of learning, thinking, and also doing things, then that would definitely make that person different, unique from other students. And here I am not comparing. So here I'm just saying that when we move up in the ladder, we are faced by a lot of competition, and there is a rat race. Yeah.
Oh
So
yes.
so and it is always during that time when we actually try to make ourselves unique in some way or the other. And it is actually during that time when we start talking about skills and building skills in the children, when actually the age is of the age of the early, wherein they have the capacity to learn maximum, and also to imagine different ways of doing things, and also making themselves very unique and different in the entire process.
So
So yeah, the things go hand in hand definitely, and it is all about letting doing what you like to do while while imagining and discovering new ways of doing things yourself.
Okay. So all this is so. Do you think that thinking will help us in the long run, and age does not matter?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I mentioned in the previous answer, uh, creative thinking skills, design thinking skills always help you in solving out, being innovative, being different from others, solving problems, being a problem solver, and solving problems in an effective manner, which is required when you move up in the ladder and also in your long run. So, when you are facing any kind of a problem, you imbibe those qualities in yourself, which helps you to continuously have a growth mindset and also keep thinking about new ways and new ideas, so, through which you will be able to overcome that situation, overcome that problem, and be more productive in terms of the work that you are doing.
Okay, so that is thank you for that information. And I would like to know one more thing, that is there any checklist for creative thinking that we are ticking the boxes? Okay, you have this, check. You don't have this, cross. Something, is there a checklist for that, or is it something that has to be developed as per the child, as per the individual rather, or the child?
So there is no checklist as such, it's a process. So
It's a,
we have, yeah, the it's a create the create there is an entire process related to thinking, and also there is an entire process related to design thinking, which can be developed and imbibed into the day-to-day activities of the students, which can help them to become problem solvers, and also develop those capacities in them, which can help them to excel in the work that they are doing and discover new ways, new ideas of learning things. Yeah.
what skills do you think are necessary for creative thinking? Any
So,
skills that are required, or they are not required as
so I
per your
would say
opinion?
that, yeah. Creative thinking is all about discovering your full potential while following your passion. So,
Yes.
majority of the times we tell our children to do these things. But if you see those children, if you see your children doing those things automatically without your saying anything, that is all about the creative process.
Yes. So just one more thing. One parent has asked, I mean, does it help, or it is of no help? So what would you like to say to the parent, that does creativity help in high order thinking of a child?
Yes, definitely. Creativity does help in high order thinking of children, because it helps you, if it helps the child to increase to I mean it helps in increasing the cognitive capacity of their children, and also at the time, and also helps them in imbibing the elements of critical thinking, being more analytical, and also discovering new ways of doing things by themselves. So definitely, both of them go hand in hand.
And as you have already mentioned, that parents and school teachers are very important for a child to help them develop their creative thinking abilities. So as a school, as an organization where the child is coming to learn in your school, how can the school as a teacher, then the teacher can support? So as a school, what can we do to help the creative thinking abilities in a child?
So let the child discover their passion, the things that they are interested in doing, and also the curriculum could be designed in a way which has the component of creative learning abilities, also elements of problem solving, also elements of design thinking in it, which can actually help the students in reaching out on their full potential.
So, can you tell me more about design thinking? Can you elaborate on what design thinking is exactly?
So, design thinking is a very human process. It's a very human oriented process wherein we actually empathize with our customers or maybe users. It will be children in this in our topic, and while empathizing with the children, we try to understand what are the problems that they are going through actually, and also we develop new ways of imbibing learning and thinking abilities so that the children can understand their passion, the things that they are passionate about, and also they are able to reach up out to their full potential.
So there is one more question. They are asking that have you come across any real life examples where you think that creative thinking has definitely helped that child or that mm person or whoever is there?
Yes, in fact, couple of
Some real life examples.
Yeah, in fact, a couple of months back, uh, there were some workshops that were conducted with school-going children, children of a very young age group, and so the workshop had component of design thinking in it, and it was really enjoyed by the students. And at the same time, there because there was an element of a lot of practical activities, a lot of practical sessions in it that actually helped the children to reflect upon the things that they had learned and come up with different ways of doing things. So
Okay.
uh, teaching theoretical knowledge or giving theoretical knowledge to children is one thing, but when it comes to applying those things in the practical scenario, there is a mismatch, and that is the situation where most of the children of a very young age group face challenges. And through our workshops, we were able to develop those skills in those students.
So, just wanted, I mean, we had a very informative session on creative thinking. How can we develop creative thinking in children? And as Meghna has said that age is no bar, and it can be taught. It's not necessary that it has to be inbuilt. And we thank Miss Meghna Joshi for being part of our webinar and giving us so many useful tips. And
So I would just encourage all the parents, all the viewers, and I know that Uriel Kids is doing a wonderful job in terms of empowering different types of courses and curriculum to the children of a very young age group. I would like to add on by saying that let the students follow their passion. Let the students discover what is it that they are passionate about, and try to help them by giving the necessary support. And you can actually see a lot of positive results coming in your children if you encourage them to actually follow what they like, starting from a very young age. So that would be my last message to everyone, and it was wonderful interacting with you, and it
thank
was my pleasure to be over here and to
you.
you know
It was our pleasure also to hear from you and give a different perspective on creative thinking, something that we don't think about in our daily life, but something that now we can think upon and reflect upon. And hopefully, the parents, teachers, the children, whoever are watching this, I've definitely got a new ma'am for joining the session, for joining our webinar, and we hope to see you soon on some other topic as well. Thank you very much. Glad
definitely.
that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye
Thank you,
bye.
Ben. Thank you to our viewers and audience for joining in for the webinar. And I hope it was definitely informative to you. Thank you very much, and see you next week for another webinar and another new topic to talk about.